Welcome to today's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, November 13th. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Sunshine Cathedral's executive minister, he's also my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin. Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Connections, the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Sunshine Cathedral Minister of Education. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be part of it, no matter where you live in the world. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. At Sunshine Cathedral, we want you to know that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. End of a bromance? Franco-Rogen breakup? Handsome heartthrob James Franco and sexy nerd bear Seth Rogen seem to have ended their cis-het bromance. According to the Daily Beast and Variety, James Franco has not spoken to his longtime friend and collaborator, Seth Rogen, since Franco settled a sexual misconduct lawsuit and admitted to sleeping with students at his acting school. The two men started their careers together on Freaks and Geeks before co-starring in films. When Franco was asked if they are still in touch, he said no, that they hadn't spoken for years. They were last photographed together in 2018. He said he loves Rogen and has reached out to him to say how important their friendship is to him. But following the scandal, Rogen said in 2021 that he didn't have plans to work with Franco again, saying, and I'm quoting, "I despise abuse and harassment," unquote. Is Rogen putting principle before relationship? And if so, is that a good thing? Rogen seems to be a true friend and ally to women, and for 20 years, he was a good friend and collaborator with Franco's. When should general principles override personal relationships? Or put another way, should relationships ever cause one to mitigate one's principles? Join the Queer God Squad in examining this question of morals. Wow. That's one that I actually had to do a little research on because I don't know much about Rogen or Franco. But after I looked them up and saw what happened with them, I'm kind of with Seth. I really have issues when people abuse other people. And to me, Franco, in settling the lawsuit, admitted to doing things that he should not have done with people he had power and authority over. Yeah. And I think that that's a dynamic that we have to really pay attention to. So do you lose friendships over things like this? Absolutely, yes, I think. Mm-hmm. Once you learn a little bit about a person that goes against everything that you believe in, and as I was reading about Rogen's been a long time proponent of equal rights for everybody. Mm-hmm. So to turn around and have your best bud doing things that just was unseemly. Mm-hmm. I understand Rogen stepping away, and I believe that maybe in the future he and Franco can have conversations about what happened, and I also believe in redemption. Yeah. So there could be a time when they get back together and resolve the issues, and Rogen is able to accept a heartfelt apology. So I guess I'm straddling the issue, but yeah. I truly believe that there are times in our lives where we have to walk away from friendships that have become toxic in one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at first I was like, I went all over the place with it because I love their work. I especially love Seth Rogen, though. He's just a genius, I think. But so at first I was like, oh, good for Seth. You know, he's taking a stand, and even though, you know, someone he loves, but then I thought, well, that's what our fundamentalist parents did, and our Catholic parents and our Mormon parents did to us, that their principle, that gay is bad, was more important than we were. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, so maybe he should like support his buddy, but if his buddy is doing, you know, is abusing power, which is what happened, teacher, student,
right,
therapist, client, you know, whatever, president, intern, that's an abuse of power. And so that, you know, taking the side of the of the many, victims instead of just letting your buddy off on a pass. But then what if, what's his face? Franco has an addiction. And so he isn't just a perpetrator, he's also sick. And then if he's in recovery, then maybe he makes amends. So I was just all over the place. It could be this, but it could be that, which makes it always hard, which makes being judgmental always very hard. But just as a person, so that's my enlightened view. Like it could go either way, and it's both. There's a both and. Two things can be true, and still we have to almost be on the side of the people who made the suit because they were, but then they they got their justice, and so it's just all over the place. So I think I just think in the end, though, I am such a Rogan fan that just whatever he does has to be right. So if he says to hell with Franco, I'm on his side.
Well, my only thought about this is, when it comes to morals and making that kind of a decision, I just say be authentic with your feelings. If that's the relationship that he had, the boundary, if you will, that he needs to establish after all this comes out, then that's the boundary. And if they make amends down the road, wonderful. If they don't, wonderful. But it's also about them and their relationship. And how they want to interact or not interact. And so I just say just respect the boundaries and just be authentic with what your boundaries are, and don't be all over the place with them.
And there's even some power dynamic with being celebrity.
Yeah.
Like even though you're not my assistant, you don't work for you, but still that you were put up as almost larger than life person, and so like you're flattered, maybe to get their attention, and then later you're like, oh wow, I was. That wasn't the same choice I would have made in any other circumstance.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And even that can be, even what happened to them can become a teachable moment to other people, whether they realize not that may have been in their charge and their care. So.
Yeah. I don't know these people. I don't know anything about them. I'm a 60-year-old lesbian. Who?
Who are these men?
But then I read the story, and you read a bit about it, and I kind of put myself in that position. What if that were a friend of mine? What if you found out something like that? And what would you do? What would I do? Honestly, people who don't have the same belief system and value system that I do, I don't spend a huge amount of time with folks like that. Now, if somebody's willing to say, hey, you know what, I did something really wrong and I need some help, I need some counseling, I need to figure this out, that kind of thing, absolutely there to support them. But if there's no amends, if there's no looking at yourself and saying, you know what, I did something wrong, I don't know, that'd probably be somebody I would just steer clear from.
Yeah.
And I also thought about this, though, that it may not just be it's wrong to abuse your status and power, but you want to be a good friend and blah, blah. What I thought about also after all of that is this is like family. This is like a secondary romance almost. Or maybe somebody's primary. I bet women have come and gone while they have remained in their and it might have just been so hurtful to think that my friend, I would have never thought this about him, and now I've learned it. So I'm also wondering if part of Rogan's thing is just heartbreak.
He just
is that he was just
really
hurt
wounded.
by it.
Yeah.
And when you're hurt, you have to do what you need to do to heal.
That's right.
And that sometimes means distance.
Yep.
Yeah. And that distance could be a lifetime, or it could be next week they sit down and have a drink together and lay out what happened and see where they go from there. Because Franco, I think, has learned from his missteps and is becoming a different person. Time will tell whether or not it holds. And we have to remember that people change. People are not always the same. No. And as they change, is that change agent something that I can get a hold of? And if not, we're going to have friendships through our lives that don't fully work. We're going to have family members through our lives that we love but can't be near.
God knows.
Yeah.
Amen.
That is true. All right.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together.
We all are in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Bye.